I'm Philip Lemoine, a cooking creator, and we're here at the beach in beautiful Santa Barbara. Today I'm going to talk about the things you need to know to make professional looking cooking videos. First, let's talk cameras and lenses. My go-to camera is a Sony FX30 with the 16-55, but don't feel like you need to go with a cinema camera to start off. I think one of the best cameras is going to be the ZV line, more specifically the ZV-E10 Mark II, one of the top cameras that I would recommend for people looking to make cooking content. When picking a camera for cooking videos, there's really 5 features that you want to be on the lookout for. The first is going to be a flip out screen. This is just going to make it easy for you to see yourself while you're shooting your content. The next thing is going to be a microphone input. This is just going to allow you to get better audio for your cooking videos. The next thing to consider is going to be an internal fan. When making cooking content, especially outside if you're a barbecue content creator, an internal fan would be great because you don't have to worry about overheating issues. Another thing to consider is going to be an electronic viewfinder, especially if you're shooting outdoor content, so you can really see what you're shooting compared to getting that glare on the back of the screen. The next thing to consider is going to be your sensor size. A lot of people will want to push you towards a full frame sensor camera. I just personally think an APS-C camera is more than enough sensor for cooking content. Another reason that I'd recommend an APS-C camera over a full frame camera is because the cameras and lenses are a lot more affordable and a lot smaller. So my favorite lens to use for cooking content on my APS-C camera is this 16-55. This is like a 24-80-ish on a full frame camera. The reason why I like a zoom lens compared to a prime lens is because when you're cooking, you kind of have to move fast. You don't really get a lot of opportunities to move your camera around. So with it being a zoom lens, I can just quickly zoom into my plate or zoom into my pan compared to having to move my camera. I love that it's a 2.8, so you get a lot of good light in there, but in most cases I'm shooting more on the 5.6 for food content, so you don't really need that low aperture. This is a great lens, it's affordable, and it's small, especially compared to a full frame 24-70. This thing is tiny. Although you can make cooking content with just a phone, the reason why I like using a camera and giving it a more polished look is it's because it aligns with a lot of the brands that I want to work with. The more high-end appliance brands are more than likely going to want to work with creators that can create a image or a video that matches their brand. And if you can produce that level of quality in your videos, you're more likely to be able to work with these other brands that are approaching you. So when it comes to creating a more polished look, it's really 2 things that make it happen. The first is going to be really good lighting. Lighting is really what makes any image amazing. You can have the most expensive camera and lens in the world, but if you don't have good lighting, it's not going to look good. So it really comes down to just understanding lighting, where to place your lights, where to place your camera to get that professional look. So when it comes to lighting, I run 2 Amaran lights. I have a 200x off to my left at a 45 degree with an aperture lantern, and then I have another one off to the other side of my prep table at 45 degrees, usually about 50% intensity, just so I get a little bit of contrast in the shadows. I like the look of the lanterns because not only does it offer nice soft light on me, but it also lights up the rest of my kitchen, so I just get nice even lighting across my whole entire scene. The next thing is going to be food staging or food styling. If you ever want to change the scene or mood of your videos, you don't really just have to change your lighting, but sometimes you just need to change the colors of the things within the scene. Think about what colors are going to contrast with each other on the opposite side of that color wheel. So there's something that's going to make it pop. I have different color countertops or prep tabletops that I've created. So if I want like a nice airy white open looking shot, I have like a white countertop. I can swap that out for another like dark brown color if I want to change the mood. Camera placement has a lot to do with your style of cooking content. If you're just going for short form, you really could just get away with using one camera and just moving it for a different angle for each major step of the recipe process. I think one camera is all you really need to get started. But if you're starting to look or move into long form content, I think that's when adding a second angle is great. I started running 4 cameras in my kitchen, so I'll have a wide locked off shot similar to this, what you're seeing right now, where you can see what I'm doing on camera. I'll have a close-up version just off to the side that's more tight on my prep table or on my hands. I'll have a top down, and then I have another one off to the side that's at a 45 degree of my prep table or my cutting board. And this just makes it so much easier because I don't have to move a camera at all and I can just focus on cooking. And then I use the Monitor Plus app on my iPad, which I can use to control and start-stop all 4 of my cameras at once. One of the biggest rookie mistakes that I see a lot of beginner cooking creators make is they don't set a white balance. They'll just shoot auto white balance, and that really affects the colors in your food. You want your food to look natural. If you have a red steak on a brown cutting board, it's gonna look purple. So what I like to do is set or lock in a white balance. So both of my lights are shooting 5,000 Kelvin, and I just lock 5,000 Kelvin into my camera, and then it just really helps when it comes to color correcting at the end too. Just everything's pretty much all dialed in. Aside from white balance, the big one for me is aperture. What's funny is when you spend a lot of money on a lens that can shoot as low as 1.4, you just feel like you want to shoot everything at 1.4, but when it comes to food, you really want to get more than that tip of that garnish in focus. So I'll usually shoot more on the f5.6 just so I can get more of that plate in focus. Sometimes you'll hear a rule of your shutter speed needs to be exactly double your frame rate. I like to sometimes just crank my shutter. I'll even go like 200, even up to 1/1000. Just more so, I'm not too worried so much about the blurry look. I want you to be able to see the movement of whatever it is that I'm pouring. I think a lot of people put so much time into making or filming the recipe that they forget one major step, and that's actually capturing a photo of the final plated dish for a thumbnail. I almost feel like the thumbnail is more important than the video, because when someone's searching for a recipe, you're competing for thumbnail space on YouTube. So you need to make a super delicious, beautiful looking plated dish that's gonna stop someone from scrolling, wanna make that dish and click it to watch your video. I think that's the hardest part of this whole content creator thing, right? So after you make your dish, just take a little bit of time, set up a beautiful plated portrait of that dish so you have a beautiful thumbnail. When it comes down to editing that video, you just want to really kind of like get to the point. You want a really strong hook to deliver on that thumbnail and then just jump right into that recipe. I think a big misconception or rookie mistake I see a lot of new beginner cooking creators make is they will just set their camera up and hit record and record the whole 1 hour recipe, when realistically you just need about 5 to 10 seconds of each major step in that recipe process. This just makes filming go a lot easier, and it makes editing go so much faster, because now you're not sifting through an hour of footage just to find the 5 seconds of you pouring something into the pot. Once you deliver that final step in that recipe, you just need to end the video. I think another mistake people make is they'll finish that video or that recipe, then they'll eat on camera for 2 minutes, they'll talk about how great this is and everything about it. No one cares, they just wanted the recipe. So once you deliver that final step, just cut the video. That way you don't lose out on retention. You wanna start that video quickly and you wanna end it the same way. With that being said, if you wanna make better professional looking cooking videos, check out cookingcreators.com. I have a link to that in the description of this video. Aloha.